Welcome to episode 35. This is just a few last minute things before I dive into Boron Space. It's real short, just 15 minutes. And the problem that I had yesterday was I did a whole bunch of playing in the Kingdom End storyline, only to find out that I screwed a bunch of things up and I had to reload from a really old save. And I'm just going to redo all the Kingdom End content in the next video. That means I'm just going to clip where I left off in this video, and it's just 15 minutes, just real quick. So hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. Quick note on the SIN's loadout. I'm swapping out the barrage battery for the accelerated graviton array. They cost almost the same, but the stats are a bit different in a way that I think might help. The graviton array is slightly longer range and slightly higher damage, but has a much slower rate of fire. So it's not going to be that pew, 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 pew that the front weapon of the SIN usually has. It's going to be more like a slower, heavier hitting pulse. I've not tried it before, so I don't know what to expect, but I was thinking that might be a good idea to change over. The other thing I'm changing is 2 of the medium turrets, specifically M4 and M5. I'll try to show you where these are. If you look on the front of the SIN, you'll see that there's an M group here, and then on the underside, another M group here, and a group is a pair of turrets in this case. So what happens is, I think it's 3, 4, 5, and 6. So yeah, 6 is this one, 5 is this one, 3 is this one, and 4 is this one here. And I've swapped out 4 and 5 for barrage turrets, which are better at taking down missiles than light meson turrets. These will be less effective versus heavier ships and more effective versus scouts like the N or missiles. I think that I need that because when I'm in the SIN and the missiles are incoming, a lot of times the flares don't cut it and the missiles come and hit anyways. Well, this being the front of the ship, one on the bottom and one on the top, being specialized for anti-missile, and then in the behavior, those are also being set M4 and M5 to both missile defense for the barrage turrets. That is the only change I'm doing in this case. I had to do it at the Terran shipyard on the moon because that's literally the only shipyard in the entire game that I could find that has this particular main gun. So the SIN is going to be a little busy for a while as it flies back to the moon and then returns home. Meanwhile, I'm going to be going and picking up some recycling blueprints before heading off to Boron Space. Had an interesting situation happen way over here. I got a notice that Tharka's Ravine 8 was done being explored by the Pegasus. And I had thought that this was the Xenon sector and that the split just took it over. So when it was done exploring, I thought, well, all right, it's leaving. It's going to go back out. But then I just happened to look at it and it was sitting right here. And there is a bazillion Xenon fighters that were bearing down on it, but it was right next to the accelerator. So I thought, this is the sector that I forgot about. I completely forgot about, but the Explorer didn't forget, and the Explorer went in there. So I quick teleported to it and just manually turned it around and flew back out the accelerator before the M's and N's could get me. That was cool, but sadly I forgot to record it. I bought another magnetar miner because headquarters is going to need more ore mining. I'm using the technique where I don't assign the miners to the stations because then I would have to assign a miner specifically for the hull part factory and another miner specifically for the headquarters. And I don't want to do that because they are going to use ore at different rates. So what I'm doing is I'm just having the miners local auto mine and sell only to my stations, so they'll sell to both. Both of the miners will sell to both stations, and that's the whole point of doing it the slightly more complex way, using the restrictions. Another thing that happened was the scale plate tried building a factory up here, and I say up because when you look at it edge on, it's quite a ways above the ecliptic. So what I did was I ordered the Odysseus to attack and destroy the barely getting started factory while I was away. And so when I came back, I noticed that there was a build storage, and that's what I came and did. I went and destroyed the build storage manually myself because you can't order a ship to do that. You can only do it yourself. And then just like that one time after I spotted the U, now we have scale plates, goods that are scattered all over the place. This is all the stuff they were going to build their station with. So what I did then was I just told Big Trooper 2, which is sitting right there, to come up here and collect drops. So right now it's sitting here right at the moment, and it's actually deployed a whole bunch of these cargo drones to come up and collect the drops, which is really cool. And I've never done it this way before because this is a large trader collecting drops. And normally if you tell a ship to collect drops, the ship flies to each drop individually and just picks them up. Where this time it's using its cargo drones to do that. And it's got a fair number of cargo drones, so they're all kind of doing it at the same time, which is really, really cool. So as you can see, I've got 13 cargo drones on the Big Trooper 2, and all 13 are active at the moment and running to pick up this cargo. Wow, I did not know that they had little arms. I did not know that. That is so neat. Check that out.
Cargo drone.
It's just like one of those real life sea container loaders. I don't know if you've ever seen those. It's like a semi-trailer, and it has a couple of arms that pick a sea container up and put it on its back. And that's exactly what this is doing in space. It's so cool. Here, watch this again. So this is a cargo drone that doesn't have any cargo on it. See, I thought they were two different models because I've seen these guys come and go from large ships into build storage or trading with stations and stuff like that. But I've never seen the fact that they are actually two separate things. This is the cargo drone, and this is the stack of 6, well, essentially space containers that are all frameworked together. And this right here on the back of the cargo drone looks to be some kind of magnetic arm. And so if I unpause it, you'll see that it deploys and a little tractor beam comes out, pulls it forward, and the arm comes back and sets the cargo exactly where it needs to be, and the cargo drone leaves. That is such a cool attention to detail that I never even knew this game had. The game continues to surprise me. That's pretty neat.
Container.
So now it's got a little fleet of cargo drones that are returning with cargo to the Shuyaku. And notice they don't even magically clip through the ship either. You know, the game could just cheat and take shortcuts by having them teleport inside the ship when they get close to it, or clip through the boundary of the hull or something like that. But no, the Egosoft has chosen to simulate the entire thing. Of course, they do they do clip through each other, unfortunately, but I guess that's forgivable. But then when they line up, they all just take turns going inside, and there you have it. That's so cool. That's just so cool. Oh, another thing that happened that was really interesting was one of my smaller traders got pirated, and he's just fleed, which is normal. And I was curious, so I looked at it, and it had orders to dock at the pirate base. I thought, so they're getting pirated by Scaleplate on their way to dock at a Scaleplate pirate base. I thought, what is it doing? And it was selling space weed. And I don't have allow illegal wares checked. But I guess the whole point is that space weed isn't illegal in Silent Witness 12, because that's pirate territory. I thought, oh, yeah, that's clever. Yeah. So space weed isn't just illegal by definition. It's illegal to whoever says it's illegal. And this isn't actually owned by anybody, these two sectors. So they must have bought the space weed like here and sold it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look there's a space weed farm right here. That's so funny. 242 has finished collecting all those station parts that were floating around. And if I look at the inventory, it looks like it's got 7,700 energy cells and 1,500 hull parts. It's not a huge amount or anything, but it's cool that you can actually loot the build storage and then take it for yourself with big ships. It's kind of neat. Looks like the Sin is done upgrading. You can teleport straight to it now. I'm just going to quick try something. Alright, let's see what this looks like. Alright, so that's the main weapon now. We'll see if it's better than the barrage. I don't have any idea. Sorry, I just needed to test that out. I love being able to teleport anywhere. It's so cool. I'm building 5 Rapier Scouts at this station in Neptune because I'm going to put a scout at different faction representatives in order to teleport directly there. And the Rapiers are good because they're easy to get out of. You come through this teleporter here and just go straight out the door. No stairs or anything. Oh, check this out. I didn't know that this happened. True Sight is now apparently owned by the Terrans rather than the Holy Order. That's different.
Entering system.
Split check cargo for good stuff. This cargo nice. Split think about keeping it. Drop cargo quick.
I've got an interesting thing to show you. Over here, you can see I've made a fleet called Faction Reps. If I click on the leader, you can see that it's actually a Scout Rapier that's docked at the Faction Representative's office for the Argon faction. Over here, as subordinates to that ship, I've got Rapier Scouts that are docked at the various faction representatives for different factions. See? So the trick to getting this to work is you have the ships assigned to the group, and then after that, you tell the ship to dock at the station, and they'll just sit there and dock and wait. So over here you can see that the current role is Mimic, and it's mimicking the Argon faction rep ship's orders. So if I didn't tell it to specifically dock here, what it would do is it would dock at the Argon station instead. So after you assign to the group, you then immediately tell it to dock at the station that you want it to dock at, and it will stay there because it's dock and wait. And that's important because now you can see that no longer do I have to worry about many ships taking up space in my unassigned ships list. Instead, I can just stick them all in one fleet, collapse it, and forget about it. If I need to teleport somewhere, all I have to do is open it up. So if I want to talk to the Paranid, I just right-click, teleport to, and just like that, I am parked
system. Trinity Sanctum.
at the faction rep for the Paranid. If I want to see the Terrans for whatever reason, all I have to do is right-click on faction rep Terran, teleport, and just like that,
Entering system. Sol.
I'm at the faction rep for the Terrans, and the ship just stays here. You just keep your pilot,
Hello there.
and he'll just sit there and like do Sudoku or something forever. It's great. Looks like I've got a promotion ceremony to do for the Ministry of Finance, which is one that I've never gotten reputation with in the past, but I just got informed that I'm at +10 now. I installed a mod called No Ranks, Thanks, and Tenoys, and what it will do, supposedly, is it will get rid of the long speeches that you have when you rank up, and it will also get rid of the station announcements that happen every 60 seconds or so, and I think I have noticed that those are gone now, so that's nice. Let's see what happens when I talk to this guy. Receive rank.
We look forward to working with you more in the future. Good profit to you.
I like that. I like that. So you still have to come here to get your rank, and he still says something to you, but it doesn't take, 60 seconds of nonsense that everybody does. I like it. It's a good mod. It's in the description of the first video of the series if you need it. Just checking up on my hull part factory, and it turns out that it's got lots of ore now, because if you recall from before, it had no ore in it because there wasn't enough mining going on in Heretic's End. And now, if I check on headquarters, that also has lots of ore in it. So the two miners are doing a very good job. All right, hope you enjoyed that episode. It was real quick, like I said, and the next thing that I'm doing is diving straight into Kingdom End and do that storyline. I screwed up a lot of things the previous time I tried it, and one of the things that I wanted to say to you was that there's a reason why I waited so long to get this going, and it's because the Kingdom End storyline is filled with monologues. It's got lots and lots and lots of characters talking to you, cutscenes, circumstances where you're busy deep into Kingdom End territory, and you're not really available to handle your empire if you've built one. The storyline is well designed, I would say, for the new player, as in you're starting out and you're going straight into Kingdom End. That is probably the best, most ideal way to do it. But if you do wait until later and you have an established save or whatever, and you are going into Kingdom End as a powerful player with lots and lots of assets and lots of transactions going on and ships getting pirated and all kinds of things, it can be quite daunting to dive straight into a story that requires your undivided attention for a few hours. If a Xenon were to come in with an I and a couple of Ks into Heretic's End while I'm in Kingdom End, let's just say that that wouldn't go very well. But now that the gauntlet is finished, I feel like Heretic's End is secure enough where it can handle that kind of thing. And my traders, I've got enough of them, honestly, that I really, the default is that they just flee from pirates, and if one or two of them gets destroyed, then okay. So that's the reason why I waited so long, and I just kept double checking and triple checking to make sure that everything was as maintenance free and that could handle itself and let me be away for a while, do this story, come back out. Anything that's unusual, of course, I'll point it out as I discover it. I know that some things are a little strange when you open up Boron Space as a more advanced player. The first thing I noticed was that immediately you start getting things like gigantic boron ships coming through into Heretic's End, and it's like nobody's reacting to it because it's not following the script. It's just a sandbox game being a sandbox game. And sadly, that's one of the challenges that X4 has, is that it is a sandbox game and it has a living dynamic world, but at the same time, it's also trying to be a story-driven game, which kind of doesn't mesh well very often with sandbox games. And this is one of those cases. So you might see that the story isn't reacting as you might expect to what you're seeing. So anyways, that's all coming in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.